Have you ever wished you had a crystal ball to find your best customers? Well, today we're looking at a tool that gets you pretty darn close. It's called Instant BQML, and it's all about letting marketers, not just data scientists, use the power of AI to find their most valuable audiences in like minutes, not months.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the big challenge every marketer is up against. Then, we'll introduce Instant BQML as the solution and walk through exactly how it works. After that, and this is the fun part, we'll check out some incredible real-world results. And finally, we'll zoom out and see what this all means for the future of marketing. So let's kick things off with a problem that, let's be honest, every single one of us in marketing has probably lost some sleep over at some point.
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? You've got this huge sea of potential customers out there. How do you possibly focus your time, your budget, your creative on the people who are actually going to convert, spend more, and keep coming back for more?
For years, the standard approach was demographic filtering, age, gender, location. And look, it gets you part of the way there. As you can see on the left, maybe you get a 3% conversion rate. But it's kind of like using a sledgehammer for a delicate job. Now check out the right side. When you switch to filtering by predictive behavior, focusing on who is likely to act based on what they do, you can literally double your results. That's the leap we're talking about here. And that brings us perfectly to the hero of today's story, the tool that makes this kind of powerful predictive targeting something that anyone can do. Okay, that sounds a little technical, but here's the simple version. Instant BQML, which stands for BigQuery Machine Learning, is basically a massive shortcut. It takes the super complex, time-consuming process of building a machine learning model and just automates the whole thing. It lets you quickly figure out who's most likely to buy something or who's at risk of leaving.
So why wasn't everyone doing this already? Well, because in the past, you needed a team of specialized data scientists, you needed a huge budget, and you needed months of development time. It was complicated, it was pricey, and it was slow. A total non-starter for most marketing teams.
Instant BQML just smashes through those barriers. First, it's incredibly fast. We're talking minutes to get a powerful model up and running. It's also super flexible. You can use it to find people likely to make a big purchase or just people who might sign up for a newsletter. And hey, for the techier teams out there, you still have control. You can pop the hood and tweak the code if you really want to. Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work? This is where it gets really, really cool because we're going to pull back the curtain and show you just how simple this is. It honestly comes down to just 3 steps. You fill out a form online, you upload the files it gives you to a tool called CRM Mint, and then boom. Just like magic, these new super smart audiences pop up right inside your Google Ads account, ready for you to use. That's it. Seriously. And this is where it all begins. A simple web form. You're not writing any code, you're just telling it what you want to do, like find people with a high chance of buying, and then you just plug in your account info. Think of it like you're writing a recipe for your ideal customer. So that recipe you just wrote, it gets handed off to this open source engine called CRM Mint. And the best way to think about CRM Mint is like an automated data chef. It takes your recipe, it runs to the pantry to get all your data ingredients, it does all the complicated cooking in the background, and then it serves you up these perfectly prepared audiences. And this diagram gives you a little peek at what that data chef is doing behind the scenes. You can see CRM Mint is the conductor of the whole orchestra. It's pulling data from Google Analytics, using the brainpower of BigQuery Machine Learning to find patterns, and then pushing those finished intelligent audiences right into Google Ads for you. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But here's the most important question. Does it actually work? Does it move the needle? Let's take a look at the results. Yeah, I'm just going to leave this on the screen for a second. A 400% increase. That is not a typo. This is the top-end potential increase in return on ad spend that clients have actually seen from putting these kinds of solutions into practice. Now, this slide puts that huge number into perspective. When you look at major brands like L'Oreal, H&M, and Overstock, the average increase in ROAS is a super solid 26%. So this isn't some one-hit wonder. It's delivering serious value across the board. And we can get even more specific. Look at this. Toyota Canada saw a 6 times better re-engagement rate. L'Oreal and Taiwan more than doubled their return on ad spend. Iberia, the airline, got a 3 times return. These are huge business-changing numbers, and they're coming from totally different industries. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Here it is, straight from a client. Overstock saw a 20% gain in their conversion rate when they put their instant BQML audiences head-to-head with their other segments. That's a real measurable lift. So after you've run the whole process, this is what you actually get. You open up your Google Ads Audience Manager, a place you're already familiar with, and you'll see these brand new segments, automatically created and neatly sorted into high, medium, and low likelihood groups. And this is where the rubber really meets the road. It shows just how easy it is to act on this new intelligence. You can go right in and set up a rule that says, hey, for my high propensity audience, the people most likely to buy, I want to bid more aggressively. In this case, multiplying the bid by 1.25. You're making your ad spend smarter, instantly. All right, for our last section, let's just zoom out for a second and think about where a tool like this fits into the grand scheme of things, into the future of marketing. The thing to remember is that Instant BQML isn't just some cool standalone gadget. It's a really important bridge. It's what connects all of your data, from your website, your app, your ads, to the incredible power of Google's AI. It helps you build a foundation for truly intelligent marketing. So why does all this matter so much right now? Because this is the future. It's about finally unlocking the true value of your own first-party data. It's about breaking down those walls that keep your data trapped in different places. It's about getting ahead of the curve, predicting what your customers will do next, and giving them personalized experiences, all while respecting their privacy and getting ready for a world without third-party cookies. So we'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you've seen how easy it is to get started, the question really isn't if you can use AI in your marketing anymore. The real question is, what's the very first thing you're going to predict about your customers?